morning. I promised you another video and here we are. So, first things first. Oh, have a cheeky look at the van, shall we? Because it's only just been done. Finally, it's only taken me like 6 years to get it done. Oh, it's icy. Yeah. And then this one is getting done Friday. So, today we have got a oil boiler heat only to change. Bit of a weird situation really. Basically what happened was, boiler's only been in a couple of years. I think it was 2 months outside of guarantee. Heat exchanger's gone. So I'll put in now a little video that the customer sent me. Of it pouring out. The customer isolated it themselves and have sourced their own boiler, which is exactly the same model. So I don't know whether they've come to some kind of agreement with the manufacturer. But what a beautiful day. But we've got literally the same boiler to swap out, a couple other little bits. So let me take you in, show you what we're going to do. Okay, so we've got a new boiler here. This is actually too big. This is a 30 kilowatt. So I think, yeah, they've sent me a new nozzle so that I can downrate it back down to what it was. Let me take you in. Oh, say hi, Chris.
Hello, sir.
Here he is. So, this is the one that's coming out. You can see it's not very old. We are hoping that we can actually just isolate, drain the hot water. So it's on a twin circuit, so pumped heating and then gravity hot water. So we've got that to sort out. Control pack staying the same, flue staying the same, because like I said, it's only 2 years old. And that's what the customer wanted. And then in here, the other things we've got to do are, so apparently the immersion heater is not working, as is always the way. It never works when you need it to. We're also going to cut this little flexi out on the fill, which is just not ideal. So we've got a few little bits to do today and get that boiler done. So hopefully I can find, I've left my tripod at home. But let me see what we can rig up and so we can show you what we're doing. Okay, so Chris is just finishing piping that up now. So we've taken the old one out, used the same irons so that it all links up nicely. The state of this was unreal. Let me flick it around and show you. So can you see the rust in here? Can you see that? Unbelievable. It's totally wrecked from the inside out. Bear in mind this boiler is 2 years old. That's the blast tube. And it's all come, you'll see from the video that it actually came through the burner, so you can see all the fan bearings are all going to be rusted up and gone. Look at the state of this. Unreal. We couldn't believe the amount of sludge we got out of it. So it's going to be interesting when we very interesting when we flush it, to see how much we get out of this, because there is, I mean, it's just pure rust. Apparently all the radiators have worked before. We'll find out, I guess. It's the problem when you come to a breakdown like this, is that you never know. You know, I could end up spending 6 hours trying to clear a radiator that's totally blocked here. Has been blocked since day one. I've had it before where a customer said, yeah, it's all worked. Spend, a day trying to get one radiator going. Eventually pull the floors up and I found that both the pipes, flow and return, were both onto the flow. So it's never going to work. So, there's all these sorts of things that it can be a bit of a minefield when you quote for one of these, because you can't know everything, you can't prepare for everything. You kind of just have to go, well, we'll take it as we can and deal with it from there. So Chris is going to finish that, and then I'm going to, it's cold. I'm going to run you through the immersion heater and how we do our checks on that, and then we'll go from there. So Chris is just about to hook up the Magna Flush machine, and we can see already. So that's just what there was this morning. So there's already quite a lot on there, and you can see the rust. Look at the colour of the water. I did talk to them about replacing the pump, but they didn't want to. So, but that conversation may be very different this afternoon, depending on how well it works once we fire her up. But yeah, I mean, that's not a good start. So we're going to go ahead and get the Magna Flush set up and the system filled. Before we fill the system, we just need to change this pipe in here. Because this is the fill for the central heating, and I'm not happy with it, with a flexi like that. It's just asking for trouble. So especially when you've got gravity hot water. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this out. We're just going to press fit a new piece of pipe in here. Pretty straightforward. So we're going to do that, and then Chris can fill up and I will start playing with this, and then we'll meet in the middle. Okay, so like I said to you earlier, they have provided us with a different nozzle. So this is the burner, just come out of there. Don't know how much you know about oil. So don't know how easy this is going to be one-handed. Probably impossible. So smallest spark electrodes I've ever seen in my entire life. Look how flimsy and crap they are. And then in there is the nozzle. So probably just undo this. Right, and there's the nozzle. Let's see what size they've got on there already. So they've got a 0.75. Is that 60 or 80? I don't know if we can see this. 0.75. Whoop, focus. 60° H, and what they've given me is a 0.55 80° H, so it is a different nozzle. Always worth checking. So all I'm going to do, counter grip here, unscrew this. We're still obviously not connected to the oil, but normally you would just isolate it. So I'm going to change this nozzle now, and then Chris is just up in the loft filling it up. See the Magna Clean's all on, ready to go. So, and I've done the sparks, so all we need to do is get this changed over, get it in there, get it set up with the right pump pressure and the right air setting, and then we can run this bad boy. Let me show you in here. Oh. So you can see now we've just pressed that on, a bit offset. Happy days. Right, while I'm here, let me talk to you about this. So we've got this running at the moment. The only problem with this was, where are you? Can you see that little square? Got to be careful here because this is all live. Just there, it says reset. It's got a little square. So obviously this cover comes off. Trying to not drop it down the back of the cylinder. That little reset button was popped up. So all we had to do was just push it down. You can always tell what it needs doing because it will click when you push it. So that's all fine. What I will do before I leave is I will pull all this off and I will test resistance across the element. But I'll walk you through all that when I do it. But for the meantime, we're just testing this at the moment to make sure it works. You can normally hear them, but that's Chris filling now. So I'll change that over. We'll go from there. Okay, right, testing the immersion heater. So the first thing we're going to do is isolate and pop the fuse so we don't hurt ourselves. We're going to remove the cover. Okay, so like I said to you before, you've got the reset button, which you can see just there, which is now depressed, but it wasn't before because it's overheated at some point. But we've had this running now for an hour or so, and it's fine, it's doing its thing. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how to test the element. So let's say, for example, immersion heater is not working. It's got power, which you've proved there. If you've got power here across the terminals, then you know there's something else going on. To test these, what we need to do is, I'm going to try and do this one-handed. So, whoa, it's a party. Right, so we need to disconnect come on. So we're going to disconnect both sides of the thermostat. Oh, good. This is now disintegrating in my hands. If you ever want to know what size your immersion heater is, pull the thermostat out and it will give you a good inkling into what size it is. So I will sort that out in a second. Okay, so what we've got here, I'm not too worried about the earth right now. What I'm worried about is these two terminals here. So what I'm going to do is test resistance across these two terminals, and in a perfect world I'm looking for 15 ohms. So okay, if I can do this one-handed, I'll be very, very impressed. Let's see what I'm doing. Okay, so 19 kilo ohms. So we're quite happy with that. 17. So like I said, 15 would be brand new. If you've got low resistance, i.e., 3 or 4, something's wrong with it. And if you've got anything really above 20, 21, again, you've got big issues. The other thing that you can also always check is you've got continuity across the element. So what we're doing is we're just testing the condition of the actual element. So you hear that beep? Yeah. So I know I've got continuity across there. And I know the element's in good shape. So I can now quite comfortably say to the customer, look, it was just a thermal trip out, nothing to worry about. I can show them how to reset it if it goes again. Now, if it's going all the time, then obviously there's something else going on. But this is running on gravity hot water, which means that it doesn't have a cylinder stat. It means that the water is going to be hotter than necessarily you would want. So I'm not surprised that if the tank was at full temperature and then someone tried to turn the immersion heater on, I'm not surprised that it's tripped out. So ultimately we know, the boiler's fixed now, so they're not going to need to use the immersion heater, but it's nice to know that it's there if they don't. And I've said to them that actually because they're on oil and the type of system they've got, in the summer months, it might actually be more economical to use the immersion heater rather than the boiler just to heat this. Because it's on gravity, it's got to heat an awful lot to get all the heat through, whereas this can just do its thing. And it's just one lady living here and she's 90 something years old, so I can't imagine she's using a whole lot of hot water. So that's what I've said to them, and then we'll go from there. Okay, time has come to see what we've got in here. So love this thing. The suspense is killing me. Oh yeah, look at that. So that's one side. Jesus. Now if that is not an Instagram worthy photograph, I don't know what is. So we're going to get some inhibitor in, let it cycle again, yeah, I'm going to have to clean them off, aren't I mean, that shows exactly what I thought it would, which is that it was bad. But all the radiators are all nice and hot now, top to bottom. Boiler's done and tested. Just got to fill out all the paperwork for that. And obviously the immersion heat's working. So I think, mate, we're there, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to pack everything up, tidy everything up, do the paperwork, and then get home. Okay, that is us all done. Customer's ecstatic apparently. We've had a good day. Made it and done it in good time. I don't know what time it is now, about 4:30. Got everything done that we need to get done. So tomorrow we are basically doing the same thing all over again, although it's not a like for like. The other thing I've done, I've just spoken to the customer. We've left the old boiler in the garage because it's not that old, so they don't use the garage for anything. So what that means is that we can strip it down for spares if we need to at any point. Look at that sky. Who's this kid? But there, beautiful, beautiful evening. So yeah, all done. They've now got a garage full of boiler spares if they need it. Which, to be honest with you, Trianco, they're going to need them. Not been impressed with the boiler. This is the first one I've ever fitted, and I've not not impressed. There was only 2 things on that boiler that I liked, and both of them I can understand why they're not on other boilers. One was they had a lovely little flexi drain hose at the front to drain the boiler down. Yeah, okay, but again, that's something that's likely to go wrong. And the other one was 2 bleed vents, so 1 automatic air vent and 1 manual bleed vent. That is good, that is helpful, although I know that they've got that on the Worcesters as well. So overall, good day. We're going to sign off, catch you in the next one. I want to very quickly touch on the power of trying to get some light in the van. Oh, that's bright. I want to very quickly touch on the power of sign writing. So I have avoided sign writing for the longest time because I have never been able to make a decision on the design, and I've always just thought I've got plenty of work, it doesn't matter, like I don't need it. That van has been on the road 1 week. This is the first week it's been out, and I am not joking, the volume of work that I've picked up from just one van being out is astronomical. Even to the point where we were working today, next door neighbour saw the van, heard what we were doing, and then came around and spoke to me and said, look, I want something really similar done, can you come and talk to me? I just went around there, and now we've got another probably week's worth of work to do in that house. You know, we're talking full refurb, conversion from heat only to a combi, putting the combi in a different spot, running the pipes all over, taking all the airing cupboard out. He wants to smash that wall down, so all the pipe work's got to come out. That's a huge amount of work for us and a huge chunk of revenue. So for anybody who's sort of on the fence about it, do it. Do it. It is by far the cheapest advertising you will ever do. And this is from somebody who doesn't spend money on advertising. I've never advertised in my life, but I've done this sign writing and it's just been crazy. I mean, Chris is telling me how he's driving down the road and people are taking photos of the van to get the number. And then the phone calls are just coming in. It's crazy. So yeah, if you're on the fence, do it. That's the last thing for me. Good morning. We are back. Another beautiful day, thank goodness, because we're doing an external boiler today. So that's better, you can see me now. It is absolutely Baltic, but it's not raining. So that is the aim of the game. So we are in Chesham today. and let me show you what we've got going on. We've got Chris here again. Say hi, Chris. Here he is. So we've got this little scenario here. Internal boiler with a makeshift shelter around it. I actually came here just before Christmas and got it going, but it was just not safe. It was basically, we had smoke and black soot and coming out of all sorts of places in the boiler, and I just said to them that realistically that needs to go. So we've got a Worcester Danesmore external coming, which should be delivered imminently. So we're gonna get everything drained out, we're gonna smash that wall down, and then hopefully by that point, once we've got the old one out, the new one will turn up, and then we'll put it all back together again. See how we get on. Right, appreciate it's dark. Didn't get half as much footage as we wanted to. In the end, was a bit of a slog, but we got there. She's in old, new. So we've still got a few little finishing bits to do. So let me flip you around, I'll show you. So we are in and running, but I need to finish the flue at the moment. We're just fluing out the back, which isn't right. So I need to get an elbow in here. So over the night, that'll be fine, they'll do that, that's not a problem. And then we've got our flows and returns here, which need to be insulated along with that little bit of condense. So but we've wired it all in, checked it's all working, everything's tickety-boo. So yeah, another one nearly ticked off. I will be back probably tomorrow just to finish those last few bits off. Other than that, that's 2 boilers in 2 days, so it's good going. So hopefully I can find some time in the to get into the office tomorrow, because the backlog of work to be booked in is massive. So, and I also need to get my van sign written, not this beauty, that one's done, but I do need to get mine done. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.